Hi everyone, Don Singletary, and I want to get started on today's video. It handles two frequently asked questions that I get. The first is, why don't you show some of your losing trades? Well, I'm going to do that today, but I'm going to pair it up with another profitable trade. You'll see two trades today. But what's peculiar or different about the setup is the first trade is with the Micro S&P500 E-mini, and I closed that trade at a loss, and then 7 minutes later I made virtually the same trade again and made money. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that happens and how it evolved, because it happens to all of us sometimes. And it also answers another question, is sometimes when you put in a trade and you don't make money, do you try it again? And the answer, of course, is yes. That happens, and not all the time, but it's not unusual at all. And then after those two trades that I show you today, I'm going to talk about some MACD patterns, our trade signal indicator. It's very important to study some of the configurations I'm going to show you, and my hope is that it will help you be able to better make decisions on when to enter a trade. We'll have that and more all coming up right now. Okay, first of two trades coming up. Both are going to be the S&P 500 Micro Emini. The object of the game here is to find a lower risk entry point to begin a trade. And by lower risk, I mean we never know exactly what the risk is going to be on a trade. But I do use my trade signal indicators, past experiences, and also what's happening on the chart right now at this minute. And this minute right now is 9:55 on October 20th. Now, the market opened at 9:30 and didn't really go wild, as you can see. But one thing is worrisome here. See that long, tall green candle there, followed by a drop of 50% of the amount that it went up. So this trade's not exactly a slam dunk. And so because of what I saw on the chart, and because I think it's not a very low risk trade, I'm only going to trade one contract of the S&P 500 Micro E-mini. I'm going to get into the trade at 9:55. And let's see what happens. Now, I've already decided I'm going to use an opening trade OCO. That's a bracket order. And look for a bracket OCO in the text below the video. I have a whole video marked for you down there so you can learn how to do that. Trade still looks good to enter. And as always, every time we open a trade, here's what we're having to do. We're having to make a decision before we have all the facts. Remember, growing up, people would tell you, get all the facts, then make your decision. Well, you can't do that with this type of trading. And I decided I'll try to enter somewhere around 45.18, but I see the market's trading up a little bit. I tentatively have my stop 3 points down for $15 stop loss on this, a stop market order to be exact. I wind up trying to get filled somewhere around 45.21. It's in the trade-off. I'm filled at 45.20.75. And I got my Tastyworks mouse out and moved my stop market order up to about 45.16 for the time being. Now, since the trade is just up and running, I'm keeping my stop back at that 45.16. just to give it a little bit of breathing room. It doesn't seem to be too volatile, so I'm not worried about a big surprise at the moment. And I eased that stop up a little bit to 45.1750, which is 3¼ points, which would be about $16.25 back now. And so far, the trade's only been up to about 45.22, which is only a maximum unrealized profit of about $6.25. I look down at the MACD in the bottom inside the red circle there. See those three green vertical bars leveling off? That's not a good sign for this trade. I want them to progressively get higher as the trade goes on. Isn't doing that. That's a sign. Now I have the genius of hindsight. That's a sign that the thing could be slowing down a little bit. I'm going to use the time machine now and go forward up to 10:03. We've been in the trade. It's 8 minutes old now. You see, I've moved my stop up to 45.1850. So that's just 2.25 points. $11.25 is my maximum loss at this particular moment. Now, I watched this thing go nowhere for 5 minutes. Look down at the MACD in the bottom. The green line is curving down. The vertical green lines are sloping down. I know by now this trade is over. I'm not going to make any money. So my thought process at this point turns to what's the least amount that I can lose in this trade. So I moved my stop up to 45.19. And you know what's strange? I looked at this trade later and I said, why didn't I go ahead and move it up to 45.20 and save myself another $5? I'm usually much cheaper than this. I don't know why I left it at 45.19. But hey, that's the genius of hindsight, which we all have, right? But I couldn't believe I did that. It's like burning $5 just to watch it burn. Not a good move. But hey, I got stopped out of the trade at 45.19 about a minute later, and the trade's over. I lost $8.75, and the trade was 10 minutes long. All right, now I'm going to show you the second trade. It's really just a repeat of the first trade, only 7 minutes later. So 7 minutes later, the second trade begins, and here's the setup. So the time is 10:12 on October 20th. I'm long one contract at 45.23.5. The stop is 3.5 points down at 45.20. 3.5 points at $5 is $17.50 would be my stop loss point on this trade. And I chose to get back into this trade right now because, as you can see, the green line is once again at a 45-degree angle going up over the red and both well above the zero. And I chose to interpret this as a continuation of the uptrend that began when the market opened at 9:30. Now, I chose my words carefully there. I said, it's my opinion. It isn't fact yet. The markets are going up. But I've told you this is a trade where I made money. Now, what I haven't told you is it's going to take 19 minutes to do it. So I'm going to kind of fast forward this trade in a couple of places here. One of the things I wanted to talk about was I tried going along the S&P, as you saw in the earlier trade, and now I'm back with the same trade again. There's a phenomenon that I've only mentioned a couple of times in the videos here on the channel. I call it revenge trading. You know, you really think you have a handle on a trade, it goes bad, and so you have a tendency to jump back in there with kind of an I'll show you attitude, and that is called revenge trading. And yes, that is actually a thing. It's human nature. People do that. But that's not why I'm back in this trade. I go by the indicators, and I'm not saying I've never done a revenge trade. Sure, I have, many times. And it usually doesn't turn out very well. But anyway, this time, I think I have the technical indicators to support my belief that there was some more upside in this video. Now, I'm speaking to you, I do realize, with the genius of hindsight. And I'm up a couple of points here on the trade so far. Now, I moved my stop up to 45.21.5. If anything, because I'm doing this trade now for the second time, I'm really not going to cut it much slack. If it starts reversing again, I'll be out and move on and make a better day. But of course, now I've told you this is going to be a winning trade, and it's going to last for quite a while. But anyway, it is important to move that stop up, and I don't think I'm going to be moving the stop back down on this time on this trade. I'm going to have it show me what it's going to do instead of me trying to impose my will on it. That's another mistake that I and everybody else who trades often makes. Okay, I'm going to go fast forward in time here from 10:13 up to 10:19. We've been in the trade since 10:12, so that's for 7 minutes now. See, I just eked that stop up again. I had it at 45.22.5, and I moved it up to 45.23. So my stop market order is now 1/2 of a point, or only $2.50 below the entry point. So I almost have a free trade here, but not quite. A risk of $2.50, I can let this baby run and see what happens. And I'm determined I'm not backing that stop up again on the second go around with this trade. Now I'm into the trade now for about 8 minutes, and it's not showing me a lot. Up at 45.2475, that's a whopping 1.25 points up, $6.25. I'm ahead on this trade, and now it's like $6.75 up there at 45.25 3/4. Now it's time to really get going. I just traded 45.27, so I get my Tastyworks mouse and move my stop up now so that I have what I call a free trade. My stop is above the entry point, 45.24.5. So I just locked in worst case scenarios. I'm going to make $5 on this trade. And my attitude right now, after sitting here 8 or 9 minutes and having lost one time on this trade, is I don't have a lot of tolerance for this trade left. You know, it's got to show me something or I'm out. I'm gone. I am not going to give up any money on this trade, and now that's a fact. And you know, I keep thinking if somebody hasn't visited the channel before, they see me here in the middle of a trade fretting over an amount as small as $5. And they may say, well, you know, I don't want to learn how to trade so I can make $5. No, you don't. These are Micro Eminis, the 1/10 size contracts. This is how you learn without it costing you a lot of money. You're going to have some losses, and they can be affordable with these micro contracts. That's the whole point of the channel here. Now, if you want to worry about $5, just trade the regular E-mini, and you can worry about $50 at a time. But that's the scale we're on here. It's 1/10 size, a great way, never, ever before available for normal traders without very large accounts to be able to trade at $50 a point. At $5 a point, you can afford to learn. That's my point. You'll be able to scale up. You can trade 2, 3, 4, 5 contracts, whatever you like. Once you get the confidence and you have the technique and experience to do these trades, then you scale up. But right now, the channel here is all about learning to day trade the Micro E-minis. It's over 100 free videos here on the channel, and if you subscribe, you'll get a notification of our new live trade videos we post here each week. Going up in time here, we've been in the trade for 18 minutes. The time is 10:30 Eastern Time, and I'm getting out my Tastyworks mouse to move that stop up yet again. I already had it at 45.27 and I'm going to eke it up just a little bit more to lock in some more of those unrealized gains. And I've moved the stop to 45.2850. And so I've locked in $25 now, 5 points at $5 a point. We're trading one contract here. And my hope, of course, is that it continues to go up. I'm running that stop is pretty close. It's only about 1 point back. So let's see what happens. You know, one of the things I'm really satisfied about with this trade is there was no drawdown, not once in this entire 18, 19 minutes here have I been down even 50 cents in the trade. There you go. It stopped out 45.2850 for a profit of $25. So there you go. I did the same trade twice in 36 minutes total, and I netted out, I think, only $16.25, and that's not including commissions. So we didn't make very much on it. But the point here is trade small, learn. This is the affordable way to trade, and I need your help with something. If you don't mind, I use the like button here on the channel in a different way than many other channels do. I use it as a kind of a vote thing. If you want to see another video like the one you've seen today, hit the like button. That lets me be able to tell more clearly what the subscribers here on the channel would like more of. And next, coming up, we got some discussion on some MACD charts I collected, and I'm going to try to point out a few things that might help you along the way. So stand by for that. Book sales help support the channel. I have 2 free playlists for beginners. If you're brand new, look for the beginners playlist in the text below the video. Also down there from the CME, the Chicago Merc Exchange, is a free trade simulation program. No credit card required. You can sign up and get going in about 5 minutes and practice trade. Give some of the things you see here on the channel a try and see if it could be for you. I hope it is. I use the MACD, the Moving Average Convergence Divergence Trade Signal Indicator. The MACD, some people call it the MACD, whatever you like. And the default settings at 12.26.9 in an exponential format are the normal defaults when you install the MACD Trade Signal Indicator on your charts. But in case yours are something different, I put the numbers up there for you. In the top half of the frame, we have the NASDAQ100 Micro Emini. There's a saying in trading futures, and it's a saying that reminds us of something that's usually very, very important. And the phrase is, the trend is your friend. Now, it's such a commonly passed along phrase because it does have some meaning when you're trading futures. Normally, not always. When you're having a great time and the market's going up all day, that's an uptrend, no doubt about it. And you don't sell things on days when the trend is strongly up. And conversely, you don't buy things usually when the market is has a strong trend down. It's like the old Jim Croce song, you don't tug on Superman's cape and you don't spit into the wind. I guess you could put it a lot of different ways, but the trend is your friend usually. Now, the question on this chart, the top half, the top pane of this chart up there with the NASDAQ Micro Emini, is it this an uptrend? Well, you would think so. Look at 930 over on the left, and you see the market goes up quite strongly in the beginning, and then it has several oscillations up and down in this area until about 1230. Now, it's very easy for a beginner to look at a chart like this and say, oh, no doubt, that trend is definitely up. But there's more to it than that. And I would come to the defense of beginners because if nobody tells them how to identify an uptrend or a downtrend, it just looks terribly easy. Well, in this case, there is no strong uptrend for the day. True, the market did go up substantially from 9:30 till 10 o'clock. And actually then it was only about 0.5%. Hardly a big, strong bull drive in a strong day, because from 10 to 12:30 for the next 2.5 hours, it just toddles up and down there for 2.5 hours. Now, that is not a strong uptrend. But it's easy, very easy, to understand how somebody new to trading would interpret this as being a strong uptrend for the day, and it really isn't. And there's more proof on this page, too. Look at the MACD in the bottom pane. From 10 o'clock until 12:30, see how it's trending down? Those lines represent momentum. And the market did start off at 9:30, shooting up with strong momentum, and then for the next 2.5 hours, the momentum of that so-called up movement was actually trending down. And that is the way you can coordinate the price patterns and the MACD, at least in this instance, and very often, actually. Thanks for being along today. I hope you click that subscribe button so you'll be notified of the new trades each week. And if you want to learn faster and easier this affordable way to trade the micros, check out my book at the book link in the text below this video. It'll only set you back about the price of a large pizza, and my hope is you would make that back pretty quickly. Got all the terms, everything, and a special chapter on trading psychology. I'm Don Singletary. I hope every day is a payday for you. And thank you.